Basically, whoever wins the presidential election this fall is going to then have to run the government for 4 years, and that includes the Department of Transportation. And here to tell us about some new regulation coming out of that department is Ryan Young of the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, this is affecting airlines. I don't know if is this going to affect travelers? Tell us what the Department of Transportation is up to.
Well, nobody likes fees for when you have to rebook your ticket or change your flight. So what DOT has done is they say now that within 24 hours of when you book a flight, you can change it and rebook it without penalty. Of course, that comes at a price, which means airlines are going to have to hold more seats empty on flights, which raises the per ticket cost. So there's a trade-off there.
This is one of those stories where you're kind of, I don't know, maybe amazed at how big and intrusive the government is. I mean, I guess we'd all like better deals on ticketing, but I can't imagine this isn't a problem that can be solved by customers and companies that want their business. How does this end up being a federal issue?
Because everything is these days. It's the nature of things.
And so what's the impact? Is there a way to say how much more this will cause ticket prices to be because certain fees on one side have been ruled out?
Most airlines are just silently raising their prices by a couple of bucks per ticket. But there's one airline, Spirit Airlines. They're a small carrier. They do low fares, but they pay for those low fares by charging for even carry-on bags or for just about anything you can imagine. So what they've done is they have added for every ticket a $2 Department of Transportation unintended consequences fee, and that's for every ticket. They think that's about what will cover their costs, and I think it's a very nice gesture on their part.
That is a nice gesture. I wonder with these kind of fees if the private action isn't more effective. I'm thinking of the Southwest Airlines ad campaign where a lot of humorous ads about with pretend referees at airports throwing flags and whistling high fees for baggage. I would think that's probably has an impact on ticket purchases.
It would, of course, if you did away with fees entirely for changing your flights, then a lot more people would do it, and then airlines would have to hold a lot of empty seats. And if you're trying to change your flight at the last minute, it just makes it hard to do.
Now, do you see Spirit starting a trend here, or are they generally kind of an outlier in the industry and kind of an independent Spirit, I guess you would say? Is this the start of a trend, or just Spirit Airlines doing what it does?
Right now, they do seem to be an outlier. I would like to see this become a trend, because some price increases are just due to cost of business, but if it's directly due to government, like if you think about Bank of America when they threatened to charge $5 a month for free checking, they should have just called that their $5 monthly Durbin fee, because a rule and a Durbin amendment in the Dodd-Frank bill is what was responsible for that.
Well, that's exactly right. We should point out that these kind of government actions frequently have unintended consequences. We've seen with the Durbin Amendment, it was essentially meant to reduce the fees that merchants pay to credit card companies, so-called swipe fees for handling the transaction, or I should say debit card companies. What ended up happening is those banks ended up getting rid of discounts they normally would give to merchants, and so after this reform to lower the fees, a lot of merchants ended up actually paying more. So I suppose you're probably not going to be not shocked to see that in the airline industry as well.
No, there's all kinds of bad doings there, behind the scenes cooperation between the airlines and the DOT and the FAA. It's a dirty business, frankly.